Hi everyone, and welcome to the Western Film Festival brought to you by the Western Undergraduate Film Society, or WUFS for short. I'm Rochelle, and I'm this year's president and film festival director. The Western Undergraduate Film Society works to cultivate a new wave of budding filmmakers with industry professionals from the academic community. WUFS organizes film festivals, events, an academic film journal, and monthly film programming. We admire students to have a passion for film, and this film festival is a chance for student filmmakers to have their films displayed to an audience. So I'd like to thank all of you for attending and celebrating these fantastic films that London students have to offer. I'd also like to thank everyone that's a part of WUFS for helping to make this festival and year great. So our panel of judges this year are Tobias Nagel, an associate professor of film studies at the University of Western Ontario. He is the author of a study on the intersections between German colonialism, race, and silent cinema, and co-editor together with Janelle Blankenship of the book European Visions, Small Cinemas in Transitions. Before joining Western, he worked as a newspaper editor, film and music critic, and curator at the Oberhausen Short Film Festival. Next, we have Professor Blankenship, an associate professor of film studies in arts and humanities at Western University. Her publications include essays on the archival impulse of the digitization of European film history, early German cinema, early film theory, Magic Lantern Showman, modernist media fantasies, and avant-garde cinema. As a film historian, she's interested in exploring links between contemporary digital cinema and earlier film technologies and screen practices. And then finally, we have Dorothy Downs, the executive producer of the Forest City Film Festival. Prior to founding the festival 6 years ago, she worked in film and television in various roles in front of and behind the camera, most notably as producer and director of 7 seasons of television shows on parenting that were distributed around the world. She has been a huge advocate for independent filmmakers and strengthening the voices of this region in the Canadian cinematic conversation. Dorothy has an important voice in the development of a viable film industry in southwestern Ontario and the creation of the Film Office in London. So thank you so much, judges. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to support local students. It means a lot to us. So finally, I hope that you all enjoy the films that we showed today. Each film will start off with a short introduction from the directors, and then we'll go into the film itself. So let's get started.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I made the short film Looking Up, which I describe as a reflection on forgiveness and the temporary nature of relationships. I started recording these shots early last summer before I knew exactly what the project would turn into. It was filmed entirely on my phone using the Filmic Pro app because capturing the sky at the right place and time was key. Some of these shots were taken in friends' backyards or pulled over on the side of the highway or in the middle of a snowy night. Looking Up is about losing a friendship and the complicated feelings that come when you miss someone who deeply hurt you. It's about reconciling with the dark clouds of bad memories while also realizing that they don't necessarily obscure the happy ones. Enjoy.
Please leave your message after the tone. After leaving a message, you can hang up or press pound for more options.
Hey, it's me. I was going to write this down, but I thought you should hear it from me instead. I don't know. I hope you listen to this. I'm sitting on the hill. Where are you? The clouds are moving really fast today. You know how the sky is always changing but never unfamiliar? I think there are lots of ways to think about relationships. Some people see them like photographs, like disposable, singular parts of your life, but I think they're more like tattoos. Not that they're supposed to last forever, but that they will stay with you, in a way. I'm sorry you couldn't trust me, and I'm sorry I couldn't be patient with you. I didn't want to apologize because I have a right to be angry, and they keep telling me that forgiveness tastes like winter air, but all I'm breathing in is smoke, and I am sorry for saying you couldn't get rid of me because you took it as a challenge and made me a liar. It's not like we were dating, but you were my best friend for so long. I just don't know why this feels like a breakup. Or I guess I don't know how it isn't one. I hate how you can grow with someone for so long just for them to leave, and it's not fair because they've changed you, and I don't know why you chose to blame me or why you trusted everyone but me, and I don't know what I did to deserve this, but not everything happens for a reason. But everything happens and nothing lasts, so we'll age and change like we should, and maybe regretting a tattoo is just a choice. I'll remember the best parts of you if you promise to do the same. It used to bother me that you still know more about me than anyone else, but that isn't true anymore. You've lost track of passing seasons, and by now you wouldn't know if my skies are blue or gray. Your version of me is a stranger, and has been for a while. But I don't want to think it's always been.
To continue recording at this point, press 2. For delivery options, press 5. To cancel, press star.
Hey everyone, I'm Ethan Icky, and I'm the writer-director of Burden. Thank you guys for checking out the Western Student Film Festival and checking out my film. I'd like to thank the cast and crew of Burden and also Burden 2. Those are the two proof-of-concept short films that we shot. Today you're going to see one of those, that's Burden, and we're currently in pre-production for the feature film version titled Burden. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I'm very excited to see the other competition in the festival, and good luck to everybody.
You okay?
Hey! Thanks for the bailout, bro. Wouldn't be the first time, I guess.
Is that what this is about?
Is this about what? Huh? Do you even know, really?
It is, isn't it? Look at you. You're mad about what happened. You're mad because of what I did. Do you know who I did it for? I did it for you, Jackson!
See there, that's the problem right there. Sure, yeah. You went to prison for it for me. Thank you, Master David. Thank you for taking the fall. I owe you my life. But fuck you! You caused that accident way more than I did, and then you take the fall and think you're baptized or something?
How did I cause the accident? You drove the car.
You took me to the bar. We took your car. You chose to drink. You chose to make me drive home, and then... How's that fair? You're not the angel you think you are.
I never said that. I don't think that.
Well, that's what Mom thought.
Don't you dare bring Mom into this. Don't you dare bring Mom into this!
You're the oldest. You're the athletic one, the good-looking one.
Jackson.
The perfect boy she rescued
Stop
that saved us from our abusive father. Me, I'm the broken little thing that she made. She look at me and feel like a failure.
Jackson!
Look! Stop! You listen! That's all she said! All the time! You're perfect and I'm not! You saved me and I should have been the one in jail, not you, me! Look, you're just not the golden boy you think you are, okay? Until you realize that, I don't want anything to do with you. And tell me this, why has it always been about you, huh? I actually killed that man. I should be the one getting some fucking sympathy. 5 years and I still can't sleep. Where's my sympathy? Mom never cared about any of that, any of my pain. I didn't get to repent. You took that from me.
Okay. You want me out of your life? Fine. You want me to apologize for everything that happened? I'm sorry, Jackson! But I will not apologize for protecting my brother. And that's on me! And that's my burden!
What am I supposed to do with that?
Hey everyone, my name is Kogi and I'm the director of the Class of 2020 Global Valedictorian Speech Video. This film was created in the spring of 2020 to commemorate the graduating class of 2020 after COVID-19 prevented many of these graduates from experiencing their final moments of high school, such as prom, convocation, final band concerts, and sports playoffs. The film features over 80 students from 17 different countries from around the world, and it has also received over 30,000 views and been featured on over 15 news networks such as CBC and Global News and many others. I hope you enjoy.
The year's 2016. You're nervous, excited, eager. It's the beginning of a new chapter in your life. High school. The unknown is scary, for you and for the millions of other freshmen who will one day be the class of 2020. You look up to the seniors, they are confident, involved, and at the end of this year, they will walk across the stage in a gown and cap, ready to take on the world. By grades 10 and 11, you've tried at least a couple new things, school-related or not so much. You start choosing more electives, and many of you get behind the wheel for the first time. This makes you feel more independent, but with this independence comes more responsibility. You remember your first day of high school like it was yesterday. Here come the last. The last homecoming, band concert, grade wars, playoff run, last high school play, dance, party, assembly, last first days, and last days, even if this year's was unexpected. You are at the end of your 4-year journey, and now it should be you walking across the stage in a cap and gown receiving your diploma. But because of COVID-19, this may not be the reality for the class of 2020. Welcome everyone. My name is Lauren. I'd like to start off this speech by thanking
music educators,
coaches, my teammates, all my fans that I've watched my games,
my godmother and my aunt on the front lines,
secretaries, my teachers for their amazing and consistent hard work in making sure that our education is still continuing during this horrible time,
my parents for giving wings to my dreams, my teachers for opening the doors to so many opportunities for me,
the guidance counselors,
my church and the community for constantly keeping us in their prayers and just reassuring us that everything is going to be okay.
Teachers, student assistants, parents, and custodians for everything you do.
Without you all, we wouldn't be the confident graduates you see before you today. High school has been a journey of incredible moments we will look back on and cherish.
My favorite memory from high school is probably all the sporting events and all the big crowds that came to watch and support.
Seeing my whole grade form into almost a family and just ready to help each other and be there for each other and support each other was the best thing for me.
Hanging out with friends, going field trips, hanging out with Special Olympics, like partners and athletes.
Purim, a Jewish holiday that we celebrate, where everybody comes dressed up.
I'm proud to have been on student council for grade 11 and 12.
I'm most proud of helping others and being involved.
I was able to create unforgettable memories that I will forever hold.
I'm most proud of winning city championships with my hockey team in my junior season.
These are the moments that we will never forget. But what has shaped us into the young leaders we are today are the lessons we've learned.
And something that I want to leave for my other fellow graduates is do not let this little bump in our road of our senior year get in your way. Instead of focusing on that, focus on your future and dream big.
Also, don't forget to help others when you reach your peak of greatness. We part to meet and we meet to part.
If you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for just anything. So pick something. And no matter what others say, never stop going after it.
Throughout our crazy journey through life, there are going to be so many roadblocks. But I encourage you to keep pushing towards your goals, because we are the class of 2020 and we can accomplish anything.
Stay home, stay safe, wash your hands, constantly sanitize.
Life is really short and you can't dwell on the past, so live in those moments and just have fun.
We are the class of 2020 and nothing can stop us.
We are going to be a generation of rebuilding. Rebuilding the environment with climate change and global warming, rebuilding after this pandemic, and rebuilding after so much has changed in people's life. We will be a generation that changes the way the world works.
Life is not about goods or money, but it's about the connections you make and the experiences you share. That's what's going to count, and that's the mark you're going to leave behind.
And to my fellow graduates, I'd just like to say thank you.
You're allowed to feel disappointed, sad, cheated, and a little lost at times. But you must know that although you are not physically with your friends during these final moments of high school, you are not alone.
Russell Straw,
Stephanie Reeder,
Ori Lugo,
Lauren Stoyles,
Angel,
Emma Stovall,
Nana Sami. I'm from Doha, Qatar.
Tokyo, Japan.
Houston, Jamaica.
Houston, Texas.
Johannesburg, South Africa.
New Delhi, India.
London, Ontario, Canada.
Jakarta, Indonesia.
Sydney, Australia.
Abu Dhabi, UAE.
Nairobi, Kenya.
Beijing, China.
Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Bangkok, Thailand.
Class of 2020.
Class of 2020.
Class of 2020.
Class of 2020. Class of 2020.
My name's Lauren, and I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and I'm proud to be a part of the graduating class of 2020.
My name is David Carney. I'm a student at Fanshawe in the Advanced Filmmaking program. The film I've entered into the festival is on the sport of disc golf. It's mainly more of a catalog film, really introducing people to the sport and the community at large. Now, the reason for making this film essentially was one of the mantras of disc golf is to grow the sport. So I thought what a better way to do so is just to show everyone exactly what the community involves, what the sport entails, and really just to highlight and showcase the sport in general. So yeah, I hope everyone does enjoy it. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
It's golf without the green fees, without the elitism, with a diverse community of people who literally come from every potential walk of life you can imagine.
Chill, relaxed, inviting, welcoming, just a good time all around by pretty much everyone down there. If they're down there, they're having a good time. Most courses, some do you have to pay or book a tee time, but most of them literally show up when you want, step on the course with at least one disc and throw that disc to the basket, from the tee pad to the basket, and now you're playing disc golf.
We have a concrete tee pad and we have signage, just like it is in ball golf. And you choose what frisbee you want to throw and you throw it, preferably not as hard as you can, but we still all do that. And the goal is to get it into the target in as few throws as possible. A lot of it's adopted from normal golf, but there's also some disc golf specific terminology like hyzer and anhyzer, which deals with the release angle that you're giving the disc as you're getting ready to throw it.
The beauty of this sport, you progress so much quicker than a ball golf, I find. You can literally see a difference from when you threw a disc at the beginning of the round to when the way you're throwing at the end of the round. You're probably throwing a little flatter, you're probably throwing a little bit straighter, a little bit further, and you're pumped about it because you're already seeing progression, and it builds a love. Makes you, I feel, love the sport a little bit quicker just because you're doing that much better.
Yeah, you think about ball golf, you might play a year before you make a par. But this game, you can make a par on your first day. And then if you have any competitive juice at all, you're out buying discs that same day.
It's really about form. The best players in the world are not shredded guys and women. It is 100% form than strictly power. Slow is smooth and smooth is far.
With this sport, the longer you play, more than likely the better you are. It takes time and experience. It's not all muscle. It doesn't take the hardest thrower to get the furthest shot. It literally is form and snap and technique, and guys that are 70 throw it way further than I do.
New players all think they're not good enough. They don't want to play in an organized event because they think they'll embarrass themselves, which is completely incorrect thinking in this game because anyone can do it.
It happens weekly, it seems, during the summer where a new potential golfer or member of the community will join our Facebook group and say, I have never played, I want to get into the game. What do I do? And within minutes or hours, there's people who are offering them inexpensive or even free discs to get started. I literally saw like grandparents, parents, and kids all playing together with normal frisbees. And a lot of times you see a lot of normal frisbees flying around, and that's awesome. But if you want to play the sport in more the way it's meant to be played, you just need a couple of frisbees, a couple of disc golf discs. You can't play catch with them. A starter pack is available from almost all manufacturers that will give you what you need to get started. But you don't need disc golf discs to play. You can get away with any lid that you have lying around in the garage.
Let's go. Better in the hole? Dang it.
There's not too many bad things to say about disc golf. You know, it's a great way of getting outdoors, exercise, work on a little competition, or just for fun in general. There's been some awesome stories in disc golf, like where it's helped, you know, people get into shape, or even people with mental disabilities that help them find an outlet, right? And that's why I play the game. First of all, it's a passion, and it's an outlet for exercise and for something to do, right? I think if we all need something like that, or we start to get stir crazy.
When I started, it was through a coworker who invited me to go throw frisbees in the park, and I didn't realize what it was going to turn into. I just thought it was a reason to go goof off and literally throw normal frisbees, and then as I met more people, I ended up finding other friends that played the game that I didn't know played, and then that kind of introduced me into the community, and it just kind of went from there. It's all boiled down to the community. I've never met a group of athletes and casual players that are as welcoming and friendly and diverse as the disc golf community. I don't think I'd have stuck around in the game if it wasn't for being so easily welcomed into this group.
You all share this common interest in this game, and it only enhances you as a person because you meet all these characters that are really diverse, and they teach you how to play. Then you forget it all and you learn again. You see these people week in and week out, and they become part of your lives, and their children become part of your lives, and what they do for a living. You get to meet genuine friends, and these friends last for years and years and years. It's not something that just comes and goes.
I just have a blast meeting people that enjoy the sport as much as I do. Just playing a course together, getting to meet new people from all over Ontario states, all over the place. You don't meet bad people on the course usually, so I've very rarely ever met anyone I disliked, and even then, you're only with them for a round usually.
When I started, which granted wasn't that long ago, most people have been playing longer than me. I started in 2012. In 2012, I couldn't go on YouTube and fire up a video, like a high quality edit of a tournament that happened somewhere else that past weekend. the increased exposure with production crews and media channels and stuff like that, it brings more people into the sport. And one of the mantras of the community at large is to grow the sport, and increased media exposure is an easy way to do it.
If this growth becomes as exponential as we expect it to, this will be a mainstream activity in less than 5 years. It's huge in Michigan, it's huge in Wisconsin, it's huge in California, obviously. Canadians are just discovering it. And when we get to the stage where we have corporate sponsorships and some national television exposure, the game's just gonna explode.
I used to love playing golf, but my clubs sit in my garage because it's just a bigger time commitment, a bigger financial commitment. And I can go out and hang out in the park with a bunch of friends and go throw frisbees and just have a great time.
Nice.
Boy. Nice spot, Jamie.
Get it, get it. Yeah, Dave.
Hey everyone, my name's Anthony.
I'm Leon.
And we directed, wrote, and filmed Substance in a few days, actually, for the Western Smartphone Film competition, last year.
The theme of the competition was the unknown, and we decided to explore a character who is currently unknown but wants to pursue fame in some way.
Yeah, so features me and my roommate Hannah, and Leon's amazing editing and directing work. So hope you enjoy.
What are you reading?
Lord of the Rings.
Oh my gosh, I love the movie.
The books are better. You know, this is basically the thing that started the entire fantasy genre.
Yeah?
Yeah, like 80 years ago. Everything is built on top of this.
Cool. Wow. You seem really passionate about it. You should do a review on it.
Huh. Hey guys, Alex here. I've got with me today The Fellowship of the Ring. We all know the movies, we've seen the movies and we love them, but I've got to say, the books are better. So this is classical fantasy, guys. This basically created the entire fantasy genre. We've got everything here. We've got the... Hey guys, Alex here. I've got Gone Girl here today. We're gonna try something new, you know, a bit more modern. It's a New York Times bestseller. This is your quintessential psychological thriller.
Hey man, what's up?
Oh, you know, I made the book review video, but like, no one really watched it, you know?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear. Well, I guess you're just an unknown YouTuber amongst many.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess just people don't read as much anymore.
You know, I think you're right. Hey guys, Alex here. So it seems like people don't really read anymore, but what does everyone love? Everyone loves beer. So I've got this new beer subscription. They gave me this new beer every week. You know, I just open it up, let it breathe for a while. It's this beautiful sour beer. I don't have the app, but I'm just gonna take you to this.
Oh my god.
We're back for another video. Seems like you guys really love beer. So I've got today the myth out for us. Hey guys, Alex here. We've got the new Peroni here today. It's got a bit of a crisp tone up here. Taste some hops in there. I've heard those are pretty good. More of a dry guy here. Zesty flavor to it. We've got the Sparrow here today. Hey guys, Alex here. Hey, what's up?
Hey man! Yo, Mr. Famous guy. Heard you got 1 million views.
Yeah, I guess people like beer videos.
Yeah, congrats. Tell me something. What's the best beer?
You know, they kind of all taste the same after a while. Hey guys, Alex here. We're just gonna try it, see how it goes. Hey guys, Alex here. Hey guys, Alex here. I know it's been some time since I've posted my last video, but here's one of my favorite books, The Two Towers.
Hello, my name is Aidan Boyle. I'm an advanced filmmaking student at Fanshawe College and the director of The Show Must Go On. This is a documentary that follows Fanshaw's performing arts students as they try to put on their annual Shakespeare show during the pandemic. I wanted to examine this difficult process and explore just what makes theater so important to so many people in times of crisis. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the film.
When COVID hit in March, nobody knew what to do, and we started talking about how do we address the needs of this graduating class with a Shakespeare project.
We tried to figure out a way of doing the grad shows that we were currently in, and then once we finished that, literally the next day we started talking about what we're gonna do in January and what is even possible. So we started playing the what can we do, what happens if it's online, what happens if it's on person, can you even do theater in COVID?
We had all kinds of ideas because Shakespeare himself lived through a time of plague. And we kept thinking, what a bummer if we do plays about plagues and anything that's tragic. And for me, somehow, Midsummer Night's Dream just kept resonating. And as we were submitting ideas to our coordinator, Karen Harley, just the idea of a Midsummer Night's Dream. A dream is surreal, it's the subconscious, and being in COVID lockdown for me was very surreal.
Ingrid is one of our core professors, and she chose Midsummer Night's Dream, and she kind of adapted it in a way to correspond with today's society and what's going on with the whole pandemic.
And the framework that we chose to do it in is that this is the dream of two nurses that have been frontline workers, that are overworked, and they go off on their break. They fall asleep on the break, and they have this Midsummer Night's dream/nightmare. And that's kind of how it fell into place, but mostly for me it was paying homage to all of those people that daily risk their lives to save our lives.
I did a lot of workshops and tried to figure out how to flip and work on Zoom.
I just kind of went berserk and started consuming everything and anything online or what was done on Zoom and learned what is effective and what is not effective in the new reality of my industry. Because we don't have anyone helping with costumes because of COVID. You're gonna have your little sort of cubicle for changing.
The first 7 weeks of rehearsals or so was not very well motivated, I'd say.
We haven't been able to run the show in person with each other up until this point. We've been online over Zoom dealing with tech issues and not being able to, see some people and not being face-to-face with each other.
You don't get the same energy off of people that you would in a classroom setting, which is important for theater performers and performers in general. There's a little bit of a disconnect when it's just you and staring at a screen in your house alone.
Especially with blocking and such, Ingrid, our director, would kind of say where she kind of wanted us to be, but she's like, it's gonna change when we're in this space.
He's watching this like dance of yours, and he goes, hey guys, what part are you going to? And you're actually gonna be coming from different parts of the set onto the set. Bless their heart, the production people squared out our whole set so that there are 4 feet squares.
So we actually started giving the actors their blocking on Zoom like a chessboard, saying like you're moving to F2, then to F7. So that's kind of how we bridged being able to kind of teach blocking while we were on Zoom.
We're really excited to get on our feet and start moving and playing together to really develop the scenes and to add so much more to our performance. It's going to be a really important part of our production, and I'm really excited to start doing it.
It is November 24th, and we are just getting started with our in-person blocking and figuring out our staging.
We're not in our actual theater space yet, but we're in a space together.
We're all kind of like swimming through quicksand. It's like we're relearning to walk, talk, and try to affect each other. No, honey. No.
It's just every time we get in the rehearsals.
What rehearsals? The Zoom ones? Yeah. Oh, well, Zoom is like Twilight Zone. Acting is physical, it is 3-dimensional. And the biggest right now is the obstacle of not having the human touch that generates a response. So the energy, yes, you want to hug her. The whole body just wants to hug her and console her, but we can't because it's this, right?
When you get in the space with other people, your natural instinct is to like to go rush up and hug somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, but obviously we can't do that. But yeah, it is important, like physical touch. It's such a touchy business.
Not being with each other the way that we were last year is definitely difficult because we are a really tight-knit group of people.
Our process is collaborative. So we're only as good as the weakest link. So we all try to be the best of what. So production from the get-go, we're like offering solutions to problems that we may encounter.
We actually work in small groups of people, about 3 people and a teacher in a room. Sometimes we'll be having like 2 groups, but we'll be spaced out. We're not too close to each other. We wear masks all the time.
We used to be super close, sharing as many people to a table as you could, and now we're super spread out. Everyone has their own like table basically, and you can't just use a machine anymore and like move on with your life. You have to use it, and then after you're done, you have to sanitize it and make sure that it's clean again before you can move on to what you're doing. Overall, there are tasks that last year and pre-COVID would take 5 minutes, say putting up a stage flat. Because the stage flat is within 6 feet, it then becomes a lot more difficult because you have to worry about social distancing.
The pandemic affected
like costumes a lot because we don't have as much time to work on them. Usually we'd have about, I think 4 weeks to work on them. But right now I think we have 2 or 3 weeks. So it's a lot less time, but we're still doing our best.
I think we live in the best world. I mean, if all the world could collaborate and be mutually respectful of each other, we'd be in, utopia. Because we're all so engaged and so involved in making this not only a successful experience, but also a challenging and fun that we all know we've upped our game. I have nothing but wonderful things to say about the tech people and the costume people and the production people. They're all there. So it's thrilling, and getting their 2 cents is even more thrilling.
So it's December 1st. It's our first rehearsal in the theater. It's a bit odd to be in a space like that, but it's really nice to have everyone's energy.
I think all of the students, the first day they got onto the stage, it was like, oh, we're home. We can really play with each other and sensing, oh, this is my world. This is where downtown Athens is. This is where suburbia is. This is the forest. This is the bower. Getting all of that physical, spatial relationship in their bodies with each other. It was finally, they were breathing, thank God, thank God, thank God. So initially it started that we wanted, as a theater program, to share the work that these students have done. It's part of their process, it's part of the curriculum. So initially, our people were thinking of just borrowing cameras. So they went to Broadcast and said, we need said cameras, and this is what we're going to do. And then Broadcast jumped onto it going, wow, this would be such a great project for our students. And then the dialogue between our production team and the broadcast teams began to happen.
We're going to be streaming it on the Fanshawe website and the Fanshawe TV website. So we're basically just handling all video aspects of it. So today what we did was we pre-recorded a scene that will be like a FaceTime type of thing that we're going to be putting up on the live stream.
So today is December 16th. December 18th is the live stream. Will be our second tech runs, so for the actors and everybody involved, it's really the second chance we get putting it all together. As a director, I feel like I'm juggling too many balls in the air, trying to, have radar vision and trying to make sure that the actors don't implode, because it's kind of overwhelming. Suddenly, like you're on set and it's dark behind there, or you're doing a quick change and adrenaline is going, all of that stuff. So it's, you're juggling a lot, but it's trying to have it all come together. It ain't over until the fat lady sings. So how it comes together is still something to see, probably Friday when I'm in the space, when really the stakes are super, like opening night. And for the students, it'll feel like, New York critics are here. Anthony Cimolino is looking to cast them for Stratford. He's in the house. So the stakes are much higher when you're actually doing it. So tonight is opening night. It's their one-shot deal because Broadcast will make it a live stream, and then it'll be archived. So I don't know whether it's a wise choice that we had made or not, but it's done. And we'll see how they do. So looking at the cast this evening coming in, the great excitement. There's almost a sense that they're upping their commitment to what they've discovered in the process.
I'm feeling really pumped with the show. I'm excited. We've done a lot of work on it, and we're finally here, so yeah, I'm feeling pumped.
I'm excited because it's really cool to see the production students and the performing students come together and work on something that's so unique in this atmosphere of like fear and worry about COVID.
I'm feeling pumped. I'm ready to get the show on the road. I've been ready for about 2 weeks, and I am pumped to play.
I just applaud them right from the get-go. And I also applaud the fact that with time, they became more and more a real ensemble, beginning to play with each other, particularly when we got into the real space. And that commitment to each other that if I make you look good, you'll make me look good, and together we're going to just tell this wonderful story. It was important for our actors in training to understand how crucial what we do is in the society that we are a part of, that the mission is bigger than your ego. You probably will never be a star, but you might be a damned good actor.
As artists, we have to figure out a way to keep our art going. It's a hard circumstance for everybody involved, but I think we're making the best that we can, and we need to make sure that art and theater survives, basically.
Oh, don't. Why theater matters to me, don't get me started.
It's something that brings people together, especially through the roughest times.
Theater's always kind of been on the forefront of saying and talking about what's going on in the world.
Going to see a play can instantly change your attitude, and it could change your view on the world sometimes, too.
If we can understand another human being, live in their skin for the duration of a play, walk in their shoes, we will better understand the society we are part of, the world that we live in, and we will reflect and actually comment on the times that we are a part of.
I'm just excited for the show to go on, and I'm hoping that we manage to make it just as good as if we weren't dealing with all of the masks and social distancing that we do have to deal with.
The raging rocks and shivering shocks shall break the locks of prison's gates.
Because they're right. I am that merry wanderer of the night.
Riches,
Wherefore was I to this keen mockery born?
Good night to you all. Give me your hands, if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends.
Hey Western Film Fest, my name's Chloe. I'm a second-year student at Fanshawe, and I'm so excited that my short film White Rabbit got into the festival this year. It's an experimental film that's supposed to show what it's like to deal with dissociation, which is a form of anxiety that can kind of feel like an out-of-body experience at times. So it's a really personal project to me, and it's important to me. So if you can relate to it somehow, I think that's great. And if you can't, it's up for interpretation. So I hope you enjoy it.
Hi, my name is Laba Saklan, and I'm a second-year film studies student at Western. You're about to watch my short experimental film called Forget Me Not. The main idea of this film is that we never truly know who we are, and at the end of the day, if we're forgotten, we have to come to terms with it. I think that there is an inevitable search for a legacy that people have, and they're always chasing this idea of being significant in the grand scheme of things. My film focuses on the lives of two different individuals, Felicity and Francine. Delving into their day-to-day, you see that people live unique lives, but nothing about the human experience is unique, because at the end of the day, a human life is a human life. I wanted to make the start of the film a bit more tense, with a fast-paced editing style, because the viewer is stressed out and feels like they need to find this individualistic purpose. By the end of the film, I want to convey the message that there is a beauty and serenity in being forgotten, and there's more to life than proving that you will be remembered. I hope you enjoy my work, and if this film resonates with you, I would love to hear your thoughts afterwards. Thanks so much.
We do not have eyes and ears or hands and feet. We have brains and hearts and mouths to speak. Speak for those who conceal their truth. Are we living to expire? Can this time be renewed?
Imperial Majesty, as a member of the body of Christ, what do you expect of the church?
A short film by Laba Saklan.
Apophagorophobia.
The fear of being forgotten. The church is not merely a building. The church is the faithful fulfillment of the Christian life and its.
I don't think they know what makes me, me. I thought that would be scary, but do I know them? Whether we think we know them or not. You can never really be sure of what's going on in one's head.
Take Felicity, for example. To the others, she is studious and keeps to herself. Peel the curtains back, and nobody is really who they seem to be.
So, who is she then? Do you ever really know your true self? Eventually, your mind just wanders, and you wonder what you could have been if nobody was ever really looking.
A similar scene can be seen with Francine.
What do these girls have in common? It's not their schoolwork, their personalities, or even their appearances. Well, the thing is, they don't know how to find their true self. Once you take a look in, you peel back the curtains, and you face the window, life becomes a lot more interesting. What if we stopped living in search of our true selves and began living in search of the many different costumes our lives can come in? Maybe then we can make friends with ourselves before we get let off into the grand world and find the other us's.
Do you think you're open with the people that you love?
Are you your true self around them, or must they climb inside of your skin to figure you out? You play the same songs, drive down the same winding roads, and even wear the same socks.
Have you decided you want to be open yet?
Will you show them more than one side? Will you choose to be more than just stagnant? Because one day, you will realize the world is big. And I'm small. Take a look out the window again. Be like Felicity and Francine, and don't be afraid to show a different side of yourself simply because you do not want to be forgotten. One day, even the prettiest of flowers will die down. We can live hectic lives in trying to be unforgettable, or we can find peace in being forgotten.
So those were some amazing films. I hope you all enjoyed them as much as I did. We're going to announce winners starting from third place, and after each winner is announced, I'll also announce the judges' positive feedback on the films. So in third place, we have Forget Me Not by Laiba Siklin. So Professor Nagel had to say that he really liked the quirky aesthetic and the play with media nostalgia. He found it highly original and very detailed in its composition. He also liked the use of sound samples as they were done to the point with the greatest effect. Also, the use of music was good, but not too much in your face. The essayistic voiceover worked well as he thought that the film had attitude and something to say about the world and being in this world. Forget Me Not is a very mature submission. Professor Blankenship had to say that she really liked the references to analog media. It's nice to use older analog media frames in the avant-garde experiment, especially in the larger context of forgetting or not forgetting. Solid experimental essay film using a personal philosophical voiceover. The sound echoes and sound samples added another rich layer to the film. The use of neon and rich, vibrant colors was also an effective way to communicate inner intensities. Powerful aesthetics, well done. Next up, in second place, we have The Show Must Go On by Aidan Boyle. So Dorothy had to say that she loved the topic and treatment of the short doc. The production values were excellent. The interviewers were placed well and lit well. They asked really great questions and got the interviewees to speak in really candid ways. There was excellent sound design. They added some really excellent sounds, even just down to the clanging of the pots and pans, which is now an iconic sound that we can all relate to. The location sound was flawless. They had leveled it perfectly, and they really managed to make it all so that it was seamless. And the choice and placement of their B-roll shots was excellent. Overall, an excellent short doc. Professor Nagel had to say that the excitement, the energy, and was all there, and that one could see the very high production value. Also, shooting over such a long period of time needs a lot of commitment, and it definitely paid off. The acting of the actors was good, both as stage characters and as themselves as social actors. And the film set up expectations already at the beginning. It took us in a very interesting way, and through the editing and orchestration of the point of views, building suspense and mood, also, by capturing the charisma of your real-world actors is half the success in a documentary. So here you've got a professor who's very charismatic and is fun to follow, both in close-up, in the talking head sequences, and in the long shot on the stage. Professor Blankenship had to say that there were great production values, very effective sound design, and the interesting documentary that effectively used candid interviews to draw us into the world of student theater during the pandemic. The editing and behind-the-scenes drama of preparation really helped build excitement and anticipation, and there was memorizing poetry as we moved through the production process and got a new view of Fanshaw's theater program through a distance lens. Although we only get a brief glimpse of the onstage theatricality or the final show or performance, the documentary, with its tribute to behind-the-scenes labor, magically pulls us into the unfolding drama. And then finally, we have our first place winner. So this year's winner of the Western Film Festival is Burden by Ethan Hickey. So Professor Blankenship had to say, well done. Excellent production values, beautiful cinematography, and stellar acting. She liked the genre play and would like to see an entire feature building on the psychological drama. It was very effective opening shot and framing. So much tension was built up before we even see the second character. There was rich ambient sound that also helped heighten emotional intensity and the drama. Next up, Dorothy had to say that Burden was riveting, and it was really well done with great production values. There was excellent performances with a perfect level of intensity. The script released the information in a steady-handed, skillful manner that drew her into the story. She wanted to learn more about the characters, so in that regard, it's a really good proof of concept film for a larger film. So kudos to Ethan. And lastly, Professor Nagel had to say that this short was smooth and also very convincing dialogue and acting. The two actors were not doing too much, but also not underacting. He can see this as a scene as a part of a feature version, absolutely. The basic idea with two brothers is interesting and really makes, and the maker should be able to do a lot with this. It's emotionally gripping, but does not rely on cliches. So he's curious to see how the story will go on. So congratulations to all the winners, and the judges absolutely loved your films. I'll be reaching out to you tomorrow so you can get your prizes. So unfortunately, that brings us to the end of the film festival, but thank you so much for participating and attending our online film festival. This was my last film festival as I'm graduating, so it's a bittersweet ending, but I'm grateful to have been part of WUFS for the last 4 years, and I'm excited to see what they do next year. So keep supporting student filmmakers, local filmmakers, and the film community, and have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.